Hello dear viewers, yet another video from SKcomputerco Sami Khiami. As I promised you before, I will be recording a set of videos that will discuss different methods used to create animations that you can use online on a web page. We will discuss methods like using GIF animation, like using SVG animation, like using the CSS based animation, like using the JavaScript, DOM, and Canva based animation. And today's session is about SVG animation. So SVG animation. The SVG animation is one of the very good animations type. It has its pros and cons. The main cons related or disadvantages are related to the issue of compatibility with different browsers, the support of for different browsers. But the main advantage that SVG has is the ability to generate a very good animation quality with very low size, because SVG animation depends on vector-based model as an image. It's vector-based image. Vector-based images are images that store information of the image as shapes, as vertex and curve between those vertex. It does not store each pixel and its color to combine the full image. So size-wise, the SVG images are too small. Then the SVG animation are very good method if you have the issue of wanting to create a very small sized animation. So to create SVG, at first you need the illustration software. So illustration software like Adobe Illustrator, like CorelDRAW, like if you like open source software, you can use Inkscape, which can be downloaded for free online. And for me, in our session, I will be using Adobe Illustrator. First, I will show you the final result that of our example that we will use to explain different techniques that SVG animation use. So to go to that, okay, you see this is the logo that we want to create, animated logo that we want to create, and it's not that beautiful, but it has most of the techniques used in SVG animation. So let's begin directly in creating our logo, then exporting it, then working on animation. Okay, so let's close that and go back to Adobe Illustrator to create our logo. So I'll go and create new to my animation. Okay, and for the size, you don't worry about that. I will use 300 by 300, but since it's vector based, the size is not an issue, so you can just make it bigger, smaller, because it depends on curve and polygons. So okay, and let's create our shapes. So you can create the shapes directly using the pen tool. Like using SK like this, SK. Or as an easier, more constructive approach, you can just go and use the text tool and create SK and make it a little bit bigger. I'm going faster a little bit, going to the highest size and select a font, convenient font, then make it a little bit bigger. What I will do is just right click, create outlines, which makes it as an outline, then convert it to group. If I double click that group, I can just move this toward the other one rotate it a little bit. Then I can combine and unite the two using the pathfinder with unite tool. Okay, so those are united now and represent only one shape. Okay, you can just put it wherever you want. This is the first shape. I will use an outline stroke, black outline stroke, and the color for the inside will be that color. Okay, I'll make the stroke a little bit thicker. Okay, that's it. So this is for the SK. Now I need to create the sun behind it, or that rounded part with the circle. The color is yellow. Okay, I'll send it back. Okay, I need to create the rays now, the sun rays. For the rays, I'll create another circle. So Control C, Control V, sorry, Control C, Control V, and make it a little bit bigger. Check if this is centered. Send it to back. Okay. I don't need to create a fill for that circle. I will remove the fill, make it use that none thing, and keep the stroke. The stroke, I'll make it too thicker. Okay, maybe not that thick. Okay, then I will use for the stroke, I will use dashed line. See, this is what convert the line to dashed line, very thick dashed line, and we'll get that shape. Okay, I'll create another set of rays using another circle. Don't worry even about the alignment, you can do that using the code directly. Okay, I'll make it get a little bit bigger. Okay, so I think it is okay, and move it just to center, and I think that's it. The only thing that we need to add, I will change the color here. The color will be something like yellowish to orange. No, it's not the one. And yellow to orange. Let's make it a little bit orange. Okay, so that's it, and let's make that stroke red, whatever. No, sorry, the stroke itself need to be red, or orange. No, not good. Let's remove it. Okay, this is nice. Now we need to create the brush that will draw that. So very fast, the brush. Sorry, let's get it outside a little bit. Okay, now let's make it a little bit bigger just to control it. Okay, nice brush. Okay, and I might change that from the end a little bit to not make it too pointy. Okay, and let's set the color to black. So zoom out, make it a little bit smaller. Nice brush. Okay, now we finished everything from Illustrator. Let's file, save as, and save it as SVG. Okay, my animation.svg, save. We will have the option to get the SVG version, type SVG. Okay, what I need to check is to have CSS property style elements. We have multiple way to represent style. What I need style elements. This is more clean view to our styles. We can change it manually, and we can see the SVG. Actually, I will not save it. I will just see the SVG code. Control A, copy it, Control C, and close it, and go back to our software here, file, new, and I'll create a file, save as SVG Animation, my SVG Animation.html, and save it on the desktop. Okay, now I will create the HTML5 based file. So this is doc type HTML, and open HTML, close HTML, head, body, okay. Now in the head part, I'll specify the char set, meta char set equal UTF-8. Okay, so that's it as structure, and I'm going to copy, as I mentioned, Control A, Control C, copy everything to that file inside the body part. Now pushing it, moving that, pushing it again here, style part and the inside part. So we have here 0, 1, 2, 3, and let's directly see the shape here. We didn't save it. Save, go back, this is okay. So just I will name the things here. This one is the one with the black color is the brush. That is the brush. The ID is equal brush. ID equal brush. This one is the SK. ID equal SK. And those two are the rays, and I will give ID. Let's check if this is the ray. Yeah, this is the first ray, 0, and the second ray is 2. No, is 3. This is the second ray. So 1 and 3 are the rays. So this is ID equal ray 1, and this is ID equal ray 2. Okay, so I'll put the ray down here, save. Let's go back and check. No, we have problem with the SK, and this ray is covering the SK. Why? Because we have ST3, which does not have fill, and ST1, which has a fill here. No, this is not the ray. So let's get it back and take that one here, check again. Okay, So that is the ray one. I'm sorry, ID equal ray 1, and this one is the sun. Okay, so that's the sun and this is the ray 1. Now I will try to make it smaller using div, just to surround it and control the size. And with that div around, I want to make style equal height 50%. Okay, let's try that. Okay, and width 50%, and margin auto, which makes it centered. Okay, perfect. So this is our image, and we did name everything correctly. I'm sorry for the this kind of misunderstanding for different shapes. So let's continue on naming the shapes: sun, SK, ray 1, ray 2, brush, everything is okay. So let's begin now with animation. Animation can be achieved in SVG using 3 methods: using the SMIL, Synchronized, Multimedia Integration Language, can be reached using CSS, and can be reached using JavaScript. We are going only to discuss the 2 methods, SMIL and CSS. JavaScript will need library, and we are focusing on pure animation. We will not be using any external library. Okay, so let's begin with SVG animation with SMIL. SMIL depends on some tags and attributes that you can set to achieve the animation. You need to set those tags inside the SVG. We have 2 options to set those tags inside the targeted tag for the path that you want to animate. As example, if I want to move that circle, I will close that tag of the circle, and between the opening and closing of circle tag, I will write those tags. But it is better to depend on linked type of animation, so I will focus on having those in separated section here, and I will create as example the tag animate, and I will link it to a specific path or circle or whatever. Okay, so in SMIL, most of the techniques can be covered with 3 main tags: animate. I will use the animate without that closure. Okay, animate transform, also without closure, this is citizen, and animate motion. For that I will use closing tag. You'll see why later. So animate is mainly used to create animations that focus on changing one of those attributes representing the paths. So you can change R, you can change CXTY, you can change D, you can change whatever attribute you like to with animate. With animate transform, it is more focused on changing the attribute related to skewing, scaling, rotation, and positioning. So positioning, skewing, scaling, and rotation. The animate motion is dedicated to work on motion over paths. So this is why we are using that in this animation tutorial. So I'll begin with animate, and the first thing that I will do is try to make this internal circle just bit. Okay, So to do that, I need to specify the X link, which represent the link ref, X link ref, href, I'm sorry, href, which represent the reference for the item or the path or the polygon that we need to move. So in my case, this is the sun that I need to make it bit, so sun. Okay, and it is, as you see, XML based notation. So I need to set other attributes like attribute name. Attribute name is the name of the attribute that I need to change. In sun, I need to change the value of attribute R. So I'll put here R. What's the type of that attribute? Is type. It is an XML attribute. So I need to set the duration for that animation. So duration equal in seconds. I can set it 10 seconds, but in my case I need it to be as short as possible. So 0.3 seconds is very good to just give the bit effect. Now this is the duration. Now I will begin from the value to the value, and for those familiar with animation using CSS, they will find that very easy, from where to begin to where to end. So I will move R from, as example, 70 or 75 to 100. I think better was 80 to 100. Okay, better, just to give this bidding effect. So what else? I need to have what will happen after the finish of that fill. We call that fill. After the finish of animation, freeze, end the animation. Also, I can set the number of repeating count. We call repeat count equal to what? Repeat count equal to the number of time that we want that to be repeated, the animation. I'll call it and define it. Okay, now I need to decide when to begin the animation, so that will go with begin equal. I can set that in seconds, like 0 second, 2 second, 3 second, or when clicking on the animation it will begin, or click plus 4 second. This is doable. In my case I need to work alone, so 0 second. I think we did finish here. Let's try to save and check, refresh. Nothing happens. Why? Let's check again. We are okay. In xlink href, this is the ID of the thing that we want to move. So to reveal that this is an ID, so I will write the hash here. So this is what I have missed. So you see now the internal circle is blinking or beating. Pop, pop, pop. Okay, let's go back and do the other type of animation. So the animate transform, that is good for scaling, that is good for skewing, that is good for changing the position, that is good for rotation. In our case we need to rotate those rays. Okay, so again xlink attribute name, I'll copy this and remove what I don't need from. So animate transform, pick. So that's it. So I need to begin in 0 second. I need the repeat count to be undefined. I need to end at the end to freeze. Now what I will change is the duration is of course not 0.3. I will put that duration to 10 seconds. 10 seconds. The attribute name is not R. In attribute name of type transform, we said here transform. Okay, And we need to add extra attribute, which is the type, not attribute type, the type alone, to specify do you want to do a rotation, do you want to do a skew, change the skew, the rotation, the position, etc. In the case of the changing the position, we can you can put translate. In the case of rotation, rotate, skew, and scale. So in our case it's rotate, and we need to specify from to. In rotation, we specify the angle of rotation, so from 0 to 360 as example. If we try, and what we are trying is not the sun, we are trying to move ray 1. So if we save that, we notice that there is a rotation, but the center of rotation is not the center of the circle itself. So it is rotated using the 0, 0, I think. So to change that, we need to specify the center of that rotation. So the center of that rotation should be the same center as our circle, so 150, 150. So we will use spaces to specify that, 150, 150. So this is the X and Y for the center, X and Y for the center. Save. Now it's moving just fine. And each 10 seconds it will do a full round. Now the other one is ray 2, so I'll repeat the same animation, transform for the ray 2. Okay, transform, rotate, everything the same, but I'll change the timing. I'll change the timing to be whatever, 5 seconds as example. Let's see how this looks like. You see one fast, one slow. This is nice. Okay. Now let's move to use the animation on path. So we finished the animate, transform, and now animate motion. Now the animate motion is moving on path. So again, copy, paste, and what I need to change, of course, is the X link here. The X link here, it's not ready to, it's the brush that we want to move on path to draw, and the attribute name is not transform. We'll remove that, we'll remove all that. What we need to specify is the duration, of course, which is, let's make it 10 seconds. We need to specify the fill freeze, repeat count, begin, and a very important thing that we need to specify in between. This is why I make it opening and closing tag. I need to specify the path that I need to move over. So this is specified using mPath, and also xlink hreference equal, and this should refer to the SK because it will move over SK. Okay, save, refresh. Now the brush actually is moving. You can see something here, but it is moving over the path, but with the shifting. It is not beginning over the same shape. It's beginning from somewhere else. So what I need to do is just to change the place from where that is beginning. So I can do that by using a tag inside the inside that brush part. I can say transform equal translate, and set where to begin from, minus 100, minus 100, minus 100 as example. Let's try that if that works. It looked like we did change the place where we are beginning, so this seemed to be good. So we use transform just to move all the animation to another position. Now I'm transforming it minus 100 by minus 100. Actually, if we want to be more specific, this can be something like, maybe depend on that, minus 300. Let's try it, minus 300, minus 300. No, too much. I think 150 is fair enough, or 60. No, too high. But it seems that we are over this, the right path is too high, so we should go up with that 100, and this should be 170 as example. Let's try. Okay, 75, 90. Okay, we are too near. Still up and right. We should move it down and left. Down and 180. Yes, that's it. Okay, so this is right now, but it's not drawing, it's just moving on the path. We need to make it draw. Actually, this is done using different method. So we finished the three techniques that we can use to tags that we can use with the first technique, which is using the SMIL. Now we can do the other one, the effect of drawing the outlines using CSS based effect. So to use CSS based effect is very easy. It's normal CSS animation. Let's go back and see what we can do. Okay, so CSS based animation depend on creating styles. Okay, like here I will go through creating keyframes. Add keyframes. Remember keyframes? In CSS animation, keyframes will specify a special timing and to create an animation, and in each timing what is the change that will appear on that animation. So I will name the animation changing or outlining. Okay, now I will specify the from to or 0% blah blah percent. We can say something like 0%, or from, we can specify from equal to, or we can specify that using percent 0, percent 50, percent 100, and depend on that to specify different changes. So I would say here from and it should be something like that, or 0. We can use 0% and 100%. Okay, from 0%, this will be changing the something called stroke offset. So sorry, stroke offset. stroke offset, no, stroke dash offset, stroke dash offset from 1000 to stroke dash offset to 0. What is that? What is that I'm writing? Paint, just to explain a little bit. Okay, when we want to do something as outlining, I can set this is the SK as example. I will be setting the outline to dashed line. So you see, this is a dashed line. Etc. What if each single dash is as long as the full path? So imagine that a single dash, one of those dashes, are covering the whole path, and the space between dashes is next. Okay, so if now SK is totally covered with the first single dash, if I do a kind of shifting or offsetting for the dash, the outline will be removed step by step. Vice versa, if I'm now on the level of the empty part, not the full part of dash, if I do an offset, the outline will look like it is drawn from the beginning to the end. So let's try to see that. I hope it's clear. I will explain it in details now. Now what I need to do is to check the SK is ST2, so I need to set the stroke dash array of the ST2 to, let's say, 1000. Where did I bring that from? It should be the same as the outline length, the full outline length. Okay, so in my case here I will make it 1000. Now see, if I do that animation, which will depend on animation of this ST2, and I say animation name, it's outlining. This is the name of animation that I've created, outlining. Okay, animation duration, let's say 10 seconds. Animation, this is CSS based animation. Animation iteration count, infinite. Animation that's it. I think I need for more than that. Now this will apply an animation that will begin right straight from 0% to 100% and change the stroke dash offset from 1000 pixel to 0 pixel. Let's try that. As you see, that is happening and it is just fine. But it seemed that the 1000 that we have created is not enough. Let's say let's try to make it less than 1000, like 800, and make that 800. Okay, not enough. I think 900 or 850 will be okay. 950 or 850, I'm sorry, 850 is okay. And I think we need to specify the animation, because it changed the speed animation timing function to linear, because the speed is changing and I don't want that to happen. Animation timing function to linear. Okay, and I'll set, as you see, the duration here 10 seconds is the same as the duration for the brush animation. What is the animation for brush animation? 10 seconds also, just to make sure that those goes together. Now you'll see that the speed is the same, but it seems that I need to make that less than 30. Let's say 30. There is a way using JavaScript to get the right distance for the full length, but I'll not go through that now. But this seems to be okay. I think this is acceptable. Okay, so we use CSS animation, which is the second method, to create that effect and move or to create the outline with the motion of that brush. Okay, so that's it for our tutorial for today. I will continue working on other types of animation in further video. Thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe or like that video. Thanks.